Don't go.
Welcome to the Vinny Rock Podcast.
I took the blows and did it my way.
It's time. The Vinny Rock Podcast. What is up? It's the Vinny Rock Podcast. Shit's getting a little weird for me. I headed down to California to do some work. I don't like to say what it is, but I think you know what it is, and I'm not supposed to say what it is, so I'm not going to say what it is. Before we get this podcast, I recorded this with Krystal Hess. She's the founder of Motorcylce Missions. I recorded this about 2 weeks ago, so I apologize for the delay. I haven't been able to get this set up. I got set up here in the valley, and now I'm about to get my podcast on all day today. But let's hit the sponsors. You guys already know Core Medical Group, TRT. They hook me up, goes directly to your house. I've had people hit me up countless times. As soon as you work with Core Medical Group, you'll never turn your back on them. Good company. Check them out. Core Medical Group. If you guys are interested, hit me up directly. I'll send you my boy. You text him. He gets the blood work done, figures you out. Beyond clothing, outdoor, expeditionary, layered systems. What more do I have to fucking say? The winter's coming, and you know you need them. Hit up Beyond Clothing. Use that promo code ROCCO. Vinny Rock. What the hell am I talking about? Willie Pete's Chocolates, Vinny Rock's Chocolates. That sounds good. Willie Pete's. Let's do this. Willie Pete's Chocolates, you already know. You already know. Either way, WilliePete'sChocolates.com. Homemade chocolates from a veteran. Makes them spicy for you. Perfect treat for Christmas. Perfect treat for Thanksgiving. Perfect treat for what do we got coming up? Oh, yeah. Halloween. Check them out, Willie Pete's Chocolates. GMR Gold. GMR Gold has a new program for the Bullion Box. If you guys want to go check it out, for your first time signing up for a Bullion Box, get yourself $5 off, $10 off, or $20 off. This depending on the package you choose. Intermediate, it's $5 off. Seasoned, $10 off. Distinguished, $20 off. On the Bullion Box, you could also still use my promo code. And yeah, it's a thing. I love it. You guys will too. Go check out GMR Gold or Bullion Box. Berry Law, so far, so good. Several people have hit me back using Berry Law, and they take care of them, especially during a time like this. If you need services, you hit them up. If you want to get your VA disability figured out, you hit them up. They are a veteran-owned company. Berry Law, you can hit them up at PTSDlawyers.com, PTSDlawyers.com/Rocco. You can hear my story. If you have questions, just hit me up. I'll get them directly involved. I'll get you directly to them. Don't forget to hit up Modern Gun School if you can use your Voc Rehab, and you can get your schooling on directly in your house at distance learning how to be an armor and a certified school of Modern Gun School. Go check them out. They'll take all your veteran benefits. Perseverance Survival, home of the original Whoopee hoodie. You already know. They got them Whoopee hoodies. Perfect time right now for the winter to get a Whoopee hoodie and throw it on. I wear them. I love them. Check them out. You guys know my nonprofit is Hero Sports. If you guys are interested in doing sports and veterans, 2 major cities we have it right now is Salt Lake City and San Antonio. Check them out. And don't forget BETERAN.com. We are about to announce the winner of the 2 bikes and $20,000 cash. It's about to go down. Then we're getting ready to just ramp up another giveaway. You guys already know Veteran is all about them veterans. And we're about to talk about the motorcycles that we got from Krystal Hess at Motorcylce Mission. Yeah.
I took the blows and did it my
This is the Vinny Rock Podcast. Those of you listening right now, I have my guest here, Krystal Hess. Honestly, Krystal, I think you're the first female that's not related to me on my podcast.
Right on.
So that's cool. You guys who followed me and followed probably in the past almost 3 months now, we've been pushing BETERAN. and we're giving away 2 motorcycles built by Motorcylce Missions. And Krystal Hess is really the person behind that organization. And we kind of got in contact and thought, it would be nice to partner up on this because this is kind of a big challenge. And that's how we met. And here we are today. I want to talk a lot more about you, Motorcylce Missions, and some plans for the future.
Okay.
This is the first time we're actually meeting face to face-ish.
Yeah, we've talked on the phone a bunch, but never eye to eye. At least virtually, anyway.
Right, and I'll say I apologize because I am like the most unorganized person you've probably ever met, and trying to do it all early on my own was pretty difficult, and I fell short in areas I wish I didn't. But now we're going into the 3rd month, the last 25 days, or even shorter than that by the time this goes out. And I have now a team of like 6 people really helping, trying to finish strong. And then hopefully we can get situated and be able to relaunch another giveaway of some sort. And so just so you know, it's been crazy on our end trying to figure it out. I mean, some of the shirts are taking close to a month to get because we've been getting our butts kicked, and I'm not proud of that. And it's kind of a good thing too.
But when I started Motorcylce Missions, it was just me. And now 4 years later, it really technically is just me. I'm a bookkeeper. I'm the person that orders the shirts. I'm the person that does the taxes. I'm the person that makes the phone calls, answers emails, gets in touch with, sponsors. And I'm the everything person. So I understand completely what you're going through. It's a tough challenge, starting anything new, especially when you haven't done something like this before. So.
Yeah, and you're also have a full-time employment.
So Motorcylce Missions is my full-time job, but I'm also a nurse and I'm also a student as well. So I wear many hats and I try and fit it all in and sleep in there somewhere. I don't, wherever I can fit it in, but.
You sound like a lot like me.
Yeah. And with the whole COVID thing going on, I was on the task force for Governor Abbott here in Texas. So that kept me really busy, but things have kind of simmered down a little bit. I'm looking forward to doing more Motorcylce Mission stuff again now that everybody's willing to go out and be in the same room together.
We're a lot less scared.
Yeah. Well, so I think a lot of us weren't scared from the beginning. I know.
That's the thing. Like I really wasn't too worried, but you kind of have to follow protocol. Life changed whether we liked it or not. We had to kind of follow that. Yeah. So now things are opening up again, and I'm heading out to LA actually on Sunday to start my process of getting back onto film and set and all that.
Right on.
Yeah, which is exciting for me. It's a little different for the family because normally I'm out there at a different time of the year. So it's the first time I'll be there during this time of year, and it kind of changes things. Because normally I coach wrestling, and I'm not going to be coaching wrestling this season. So
are your kids in wrestling?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's pretty well. So tell me about Motorcylce Missions. It's been an organization running and gunning for how many years now?
Well, so I had the concept in 2015. Do you want me to tell my whole story? Because it's kind of.
I think we should, but I mean, it's up to you.
A little bit because it's a bit long, but so I'm a nurse.
We have time.
Good. All right. Well, I'm a nurse from Canada, so I decided to leave an abusive marriage. I got out of it. I had a dual citizenship, and I hate cold weather. And I was like, it was coming up on my 30th birthday, and I'm like, you know what?
Can I ask more about this real quick?
Yeah. I'm just going to get out of there.
Yeah, I want to get into this real quick. Just real quick, though, if you don't mind. So you're from Canada and you have a dual citizenship, or you're from here?
I was born and raised in Canada, but I have a dual citizenship.
Is that based because of marriage?
Not marriage. My grandparents. And so, but yeah, this was before I got my dual citizenship when I was a little baby. My parents applied for it. And that was before 9/11 when they stopped, the whole family lineage thing, like your grandparents live in the U.S., so you can get U.S. citizenship. So I lucked out on that.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very blessed to be here. I can consider myself a very patriotic American.
Yeah.
Canada, I had a rough life in Canada, so I've kind of left it behind. I don't even, I love it. I love visiting, but I really love Texas and my family here in the United States, which I've made a lot of friends here. So it's been great.
I think there's nothing more patriotic than someone from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Texas. Oh, so my wife's originally from Texas. My mother was born in Texas. I lived in Texas for many years. We only moved out of Texas because I was filming in Utah, and we just decided to just settle in for the kids. Didn't want to keep moving them around, but if I was going to live anywhere else, it would be Texas again.
Yeah.
So you moved to Texas.
I did.
And so you got out of a relationship that was abusive. Is that part of, and I'm probably going to cut you into your story, but that's probably part of why motorcycles has been very therapeutic for you?
That is just like
an inch.
Just a little bit of why. I mean, it's kind of cumulative.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
So I got out of that, and my brother lives in Austin. So I had visited here. I was either going to move here or Phoenix because I love Phoenix. And I have a strong roots there. My parents own property there. My grandmother, it was just her and I. She used to take me down there every spring break. And I would stay with her in her little senior citizen trailer in the trailer park. And I thought it was the greatest thing ever. And that was like my spring break tradition with my grandma. And we go to Phoenix every year. So it was either going to be Phoenix or Austin. And I chose Austin because I met a boy here when I was visiting. So.
Damn boys.
I know. I got out of that relationship, got into another relationship. Now, this guy blew my socks off. Like, I thought this guy was the best thing. I thought he was an angel sent from heaven for me. Well, I don't know. He got a little weird kind of at the end of our relationship. And, you start seeing patterns in people's behavior. And then once you start questioning people, like, why this, why that, and they get really defensive, you start seeing all the red flags pop up.
Yeah, you start identifying like, oh, wait.
Yeah, so there were a lot of things that led to a lot of questions, and he didn't like that. And basically, I don't even know how I decided to kind of get away from him until he could, give me some real answers and sort out his emotions because he wasn't handling them very well. And he decided to go and attempt suicide.
Yeah.
Over me.
Right.
He tried to involve me, tried to lure me into it, which didn't work. But he had me on the phone with him, and he was telling me, like, don't hang up. If you hang up, I'll kill myself. If I hear you talking to anyone, I'll kill myself. And I was just like on the phone with him for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
As drinking, and he's taking a bunch of drugs. And I'm losing him over, and I'm frantically driving in rush hour all over Austin trying to find him. What he had done was, when I met him, he was into motorcycles, and he built motorcycles, and he had a powder coating business at some point. But he had like this story about how his shop got taken away from him because somebody screwed him over and all this stuff. And I'm like the stupid girlfriend that pities somebody, and I'm a rescuer. I'm kind of like that person, right? Like, I like to rescue people. So I loved the car scene when I was younger. Like, I used to, when you're in Canada, you have 10 months of snow. It's like, you don't really get to be around hot rods and like custom cars and motorcycles that much.
Yeah.
And, there were only a couple shops in my town or city, Calgary, that did that kind of thing. And I used to go there and ask, can I sweep your floors just to be around this? And they're like, no. So I never really got an opportunity. And I asked my dad, like, can you help me open a car shop? And he's like, no. So I was like, oh. So that dream went away. But when I got to Texas, this guy built motorcycles, and I was like, I could get into this. So I ended up putting some money towards this bike build. And he was going to teach me how to do it. And he was going to teach me how to powder coat it. And we got I purchased most of it, the equipment for this project. Because I figured, you know what, if worst case scenario, I'll just sell everything. And I'll have a bike that we can sell because the bike was in my name also. But yes, so he actually, when he went to go and take his own life, which he wasn't successful at, by the way, he took the bike that we were building. It was 3/4 of the way done. He took the bike we were building and he tore it apart.
Damn. Like
every nut and every bolt. So it was almost like, if I can't have you, then you can't.
Yeah, you can't have the bike.
It was so like the most screwed up scenario ever. Anyway, they recovered him like the next day. I guess he had self-mutilated himself, and he had he had passed out with the van. It was a cargo van running. And it had, the heat over the exhaust had given him 3rd-degree burns on his back. So he was bloody and burnt and needed his stomach pumped and all that bullshit. But anyway, we couldn't see each other after that. Our families was like, nope, like my brother was frantic over here in Austin and the whole thing. So like everything out of his van went into storage. So that was like, and everything out of the shop. So it was like toolbox lifts, tire machines, brake bleeders, toolboxes.
So it was essentially a full, it was like a custom built bike setup. Yeah.
It was a complete shop, and I had funded all of it. So all of this shit is now mine, and it's in a storage unit. And my brother what else is he going to do? He just threw it all in there.
Yeah.
And it was like, she's going to have to figure this out later. So that's what happened. I basically went to the storage unit, opened the door, and like the smell of gasoline, the bike just laying on the ground in a million pieces, and just this chaos, all over the place. Stuff that I didn't even know. Like I didn't know the terminology. Like what's a swing arm, and like here's the caliper bracket. Like here, what's this? What's that? I didn't know.
I still don't know. Just so you know,
we'll teach you then. But I faced a hard truth that in that moment, and I had to sell everything for like a quarter of what I paid for it.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to sell. I mean, like I tried listing stuff on eBay and like, I don't know what this is. I'm like, what is this part? I don't even know how to list it.
Right.
What do I call this? And I didn't have anybody to ask. I didn't know anybody here. I just moved here. The only person I knew was him. My brother doesn't know anything about bikes. So, anyway, I started selling stuff. I found a buyer for this tire machine that I had, and he was a complete asshole. And actually, I put in my phone, tire machine asshole is his name. So he came, bought the tire machine from me, and he was like, "Oh, do you know anything about this? Like, you have a great tire machine here, but this is broken on it, and this is broken on it, and this." Anyway, I sold him this tire machine for $500. It was worth way more than that. I found out after, so I was mad about that. So I'm like, this guy just totally screwed me. Like, and I knew that I paid way more for it, but the way that this guy, he was so smooth. Anyway, after like attempting to get rid of all this shit, like the insurance company even came and picked up the bike and put it on a pallet, and it went to a local motorcycle shop here, and they're like, what are we supposed to do with this? Like, we don't even know if all the parts are here.
Right.
And the insurance company's like, well, how much would it cost to put it all together? And they're like, $2,500. And I'm like, okay, wait, it's a custom bike. It's not a stock bike. But that was to put it back to stock. It wasn't to put it back to the custom with all the, like the swing arm and wheel setup was $4,000.
Right.
The thing had a turbo on it. It was a turbocharged Hayabusa. I owned a turbocharged Hayabusa before I even ever learned how to ride a bike. It was in my name. So here I am with this turbo Hayabusa on a pallet at a motorcycle shop. Insurance company wanted to give me like nothing for it. Well, I listed it, and I got some people like, giving me offers, and they were still lowballing me. But this guy, the tire machine asshole guy, called me, and he's like, what if I taught you how to rebuild the bike, and then we sell it and split the difference? And I was like, I don't trust you. You're kind of like, So like I brought a friend that I met in a counseling thing that I did after the suicide thing. So I went to counseling.
Which is completely healthy.
Yes, it's a program called Discovery, and I think it's in a few different states, but it's excellent.
I think we have one here in Utah.
Yeah, I send as many people to that as I can. I think I've probably sent a dozen friends through that. It changed my life. Actually saved my life, that program. So, but I met this girl, this friend of mine through that program. She came with me to the shop, and we kind of like interviewed and checked everything out and met his business partner, which was this really sweet lady that owned a bunch of medical businesses. And so I was like, okay, this is legit. All right. So I accepted his offer. I really didn't want to do it. I just wanted to like sell everything and get on with my life, get back to nursing, find, a new house or like apartment there or something. But I started working on this bike, and I would show up every day, and I was around like other motorcycles and around fancy cars, because they were selling like Lambos and like really like man, there was a Bentley there at one point. I don't know what they were selling. They started their business as like as a luxury car kind of dealer, and then Tire Machine Asshole started doing bikes, bringing bikes into the mix and selling those. Well, so we built the bike, and like when I stood back and looked at it, I was like, "Holy cow!" And it's called the Crusader, is what I named it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It was beautiful. It was still a Hayabusa song, but it was beautiful, and I was just so proud of what I had done. It was kind of overwhelming.
Yeah.
But we put it up on eBay, and we got a buyer from the Grand Cayman Islands, and the guy came, spent a week with us. We went and did a whole bunch of motorcycle stuff. He rode the bike, and then he rode it to the coast and put it on a ship and sent it to the Grand Cayman Islands. So
nice.
I talk to that guy every now and again. But so he actually paid enough for me to make most of my money back. And on top of that, the insurance company gave me some money too. So I actually came out pretty good on the bike side of things. The powder coating stuff, not so much. And all the equipment, not so much. But so this is where, when the bike was finished, I found myself empty when I was away from it. And I was like, man, can't stay away from that place. So Joe offered me, you can do some title work, and you can work with the customers, and you can do whatever you want here. I wasn't getting paid for any of it, but I just got so much enjoyment out of just being around the bikes. And then, he offered me another bike project. There was another customer that came in that wanted a custom Yamaha 550, and Joe actually just let me style it and design it. And this bike came out perfect. It was great. So that was my first on my own custom build. And I had sent all the parts to get powder coated because I didn't have the oven anymore.
Yeah.
And it was $800, and I was like, man, $800. I could do this myself. I saw Paul do it. Why can't I do it? So, so I bought whatever parts and equipment I needed that I didn't have, and I started powder coating. And we did a Rika series. There's a company called Rika Motorsports, and they do kits for Suzuki's, Suzuki Savages, and for Harley Sportsters and stuff. So they're kit bikes. So it requires no fabricating on my end. It's just you order all the parts, and then you put the bike. You have to take the bike apart, but you have to put it back together a certain way. So I did 5 of those. And the fun thing is they're all different. There was a cafe racer, a scrambler, a tracker, a bobber. I think I did 2 cafe racers. So, but they were all different themes. So I did, the first one was Lucky Strike, was a Lucky Strike cigarette theme. And I put 34 on it for Kevin Schwantz, who's a MotoGP champion. He's older and retired now, but I actually pulled that bike in front of him one day when he was in town at a MotoGP event, and he just looks at it and goes, and he was just like, what is this? And who's this chick? But anyway, I got an autograph on it, and some guy from Canada bought that bike. I did a bike called Spinderella. She's hot pink, hot pink wheels, hot pink forks, and it has images of women in history riding motorcycles in black and white, kind of like Polaroids all over the seat and all over the seat. I did a zombie killer bike. I did a rusty bobber. I did a Hot Wheels tracker.
So you went from not knowing anything about motorcycles to kind of getting thrown into the motorcycle thing because obviously you wanted something in it, but just wasn't sure what. And then you're going to now building custom bikes on your own.
Well, and I did have some help at the shop. So there was a guy named Jason there that worked with me, and Joe sometimes, when I can't do it, I couldn't do it all by myself.
Yeah, well, you have a team, but I mean, this is your you're conceptualizing the ideas.
Oh yeah. And I ended up renting out a storage unit, bought a powder coating oven, and started a powder coating business out of there. So I powder coated all my bikes in different colors. So everything was powder coated, the forks, the wheel hubs, the rims, everything. So each bike had a custom color, and I powder coated everything. And then I did a Honda Shadow at the end there. I did a bobber out of that, custom painted and powder coated that. And what did I do? Oh, and then I did my friend David Roy. He makes these badass bikes from like, he'll build the frame and everything. We did a really badass board tracker that I built actually. And this was my first client, was 40 Creek Whiskey hired me to build them a bike for promoting. So that was really awesome. And I powder coated it a clear copper color. It came out beautiful, like absolutely stunning.
So when did you get the idea for Motorcycle Missions?
Well, this is the thing, is like I started powder coating for customers around town, and I started going to bike nights. And by the way, about halfway through all these bike builds, I still hadn't learned how to ride a motorcycle. So at one point I asked the tire machine asshole, like, can I take a bike out? And he goes, you don't have a license, do you? I said, maybe. He gave me the keys, and I went out to the parking lot, and I just Googled or YouTubed how to start a motorcycle. And then I YouTubed how to like, shift. And I watched it in the parking lot times, and then I was like, all right, I'm ready. So I got on. I actually rode it around the block twice and then came back, and I was fine.
Nice.
So that was cool. So, but the whole thing about how I got into Motorcycle Missions, at this point I had lost a couple of my motorcycle buddies to suicide.
Yeah.
And one of them was a veteran, and I used to shoot with her with a pistol league that I was in called the Austin Sure Shots. And my buddy Stan invited me to a premiere of a movie that his buddies did, which was Project 22. Not sure if you've heard of it. So Dan and Doc took their 2 bikes across the country, raising awareness for veteran suicide and the therapeutic things that that are available to veterans that they can do to help with the symptoms and everything. So I went to the premiere of that video and I watched it, and I was like, I got on my motorcycle after that, and I left, and I went home, and my head was just spinning with wanting to share kind of my passion and what motorcycles did for me, because it's kind of this, when I was there working and wrenching on bikes, I wasn't thinking about the bullshit, and I was learning new things, and I was building confidence and pride. Like when you step back and you see one of your motorcycles finished and people gawking over it, and it winning awards at places. Like I started winning awards at different award shows, and I started entering them into big competitions that were nationwide and winning those. And so like just the sense, like because I went into this whole thing absolutely with no self-esteem.
Right.
Like, I was done. Like I was at my lowest low, and I'd been bullied my whole childhood too. So like it was just like bully after bully after bully. Like I'm like, when will this? Like obviously I'm picking the wrong guys. Yeah. Obviously I'm doing something wrong. So this actually started to make me into a person that I didn't know before. And like the whole thing about discovery is I they have you do a contract where you kind of you make yourself, so they make you pick 2 words that you're going to do, or like I'm brave and I'm content. So I've never been brave. Right. I've always chickened out on everything. I've always started something, never finished it. I went into piano lessons, quit. I went into karate, quit. I went into ballet, I quit. I went in, played the saxophone, I quit. Like I've always quit, and I've always been scared because I was always told I wasn't going to be good enough, like by coaches and things. I did never sign up for any sports or anything like that. So like I had not a single trophy or like nothing that I could ever say that, hey, I did that. That's an accomplishment.
Right.
I never had any of that before this point. So like I instilled the brave and content thing that I learned in Discovery. I told myself I'm going to be brave and I'm going to be content where I'm at, because I've always been wanting to be someone else or somewhere else, not myself here in this moment. So being content in this moment and being brave. And I actually got that tattooed on my back somewhere. But I kind of have been living by that, and every opportunity that was ever handed to me, I said yes.
It's funny, before you even go any further, it's abusive relationships and bullying have the tendency to diminish confidence and diminish, our self-esteem. Like, I don't talk much about my previous relationships, right? It's something I just don't want to do that in my world of, recognition, and don't want to cause any more drama than I need. But I was in a relationship that was abusive, right? Verbally, emotionally, mentally, everything you can think of. And 100% felt worthless at one point in my life. I could be having the best job in the world, be in the best shape. I felt nothing. I felt worthless.
Mhm.
And so it's funny how when you say, doing the motorcycle built your confidence. I mean, you're feeling the accomplishments of your own efforts and seeing other people have pride and joy in, your efforts and how that builds you up. I think that's huge, right? Like, so we have the issue in the veteran community, right? And this is one of the reasons why he's in law enforcement, right? Both, and giving purpose. And you said something to the point of you weren't thinking about anything in life. You were just turning the wrench. That's so huge for guys that don't have purpose, but also now find purpose or find something that quiets the noise, if you will, right? And to give them something to do and then to follow through and finish what you're talking about now and have a actual reward at the end is the finished product of a motorcycle. And so I see 100%, I'm starting to understand this so much more deeper than when we originally talk on the phone.
Right. Well, yeah. And like with every bike that you do, like that sense of accomplishment does so much for you, because then, that rebuilds your self-esteem.
Yeah.
I moved to Texas with a very small handful of friends. And like, I struggled with friendships when I lived in Canada. Like, I never knew who I could trust. I never knew who was on my side, because I was bullied all through school. And
why were you bullied? Well, I don't understand that. Why were you bullied?
It's kind of I don't know.
Kids are fucking mean.
They are, and I don't know. I was one of those girls that developed first, and I had really ugly hair, and I dress stupid. I don't know. And I always got made fun of for apparently I have a big nose.
Oh, no. Yeah, I have a huge chin. Trust me. I heard it my whole life.
I heard you say that on your podcast. No, I don't know. I was really bullied. But so, like, the whole motorcycle world opened everything up for me. Like, I have friends from coast to coast now.
Yeah.
Any motorcycle event I can go to, I don't need anyone to come with me. There's going to be people there I know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never going to be alone, ever. And the motorcycle community has done so much for me. Like, oh, I forgot about this. So when I was, before Motorcycle Missions, when I had built all those last bikes, I moved out of Tire Machine Asshole's shop because he started doing illegal things. And I caught him doing illegal things. And then that shop went kaput. It got shut down and everything went to court. And I had to sit in lawyers' offices and tell them what I knew and what I saw. It was the stupidest thing. So Tire Machine Asshole, by the way, just turned out to be a crook. Guy is incredibly smooth and, he's shiesty. Really shiesty. So he screwed over a lot of people in that business, selling bikes with titles that don't belong to that bike, and bothered to check, and just really crazy, a whole bunch of stolen stuff. So I moved out of that shop, got my own shop. I was there a month. Then it started to rain on Halloween, and there was a flood, and my shop got flooded, 5.5 feet of water.
Damn.
So I had just moved into the shop. I had insurance, but because I was new there, the insurance doesn't come into effect for 90 days because I guess FEMA had a policy like 90 days, because if a hurricane's coming, and then you get insurance.
Yeah, right.
So they do an automatic 90 days. So I was not covered for flood.
Damn.
At all. The only thing that saved my ass was I sent a group of my motorcycle friends and I trucks down there to get all my shit out of there. And half my stuff was stolen. My shop got looted because it was a metal corrugated kind of barn, like pole barn shop.
Yeah.
And the door was one of those sliding ones, and it just had a chain, and they broke in and they stole whatever they could take. So the only saving grace here was that I had theft insurance.
Yes.
So, and my bikes were all totaled, and I got all the money out of that as well. So there was a little blessing in there, but yeah, from going from one thing to another, and then that flood,
right?
Like, geez. And so that didn't stop me though. There was a place called, what is it called? It's a place where you go and you, they have like everything you can think of, like metal workshop. They have you can make quilts there. You can do woodworking. You can build. They have a computer lab.
Yeah, it's almost like a community work center.
Oh, it's called Tech Shop.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a huge thing, but they're out of business now. But they had a powder coating room there, so I would rent it out every day for 4 hours. That's the maximum I was allowed to rent it out, and I did my powder coating out of there for 2 years. And then I decided, I really want to carry Motorcylce Missions and do something good with it. I want to build bikes with vets and first responders, because at this point now I had lost 2 more friends to suicide. So, and this being Texas, there's a lot of military here.
Yeah, it is.
And so, I hit up my buddy Dalton, and we started doing some photographic with photos and traveled the country and went and did interviews with different vets that we knew, and got their stories about how motorcycles are therapeutic to them. You'll find some of those on our website under testimonials. And, started with that. And then we started our first bike build, and then we started doing motocross camps. So we do motocross camps where we get like 5 or 6 guys together on dirt bikes, and they get full training and a full day of riding. And then we've got the build mentorship program. So now we're starting our 13th build. Supposed to be in November.
It's funny is I have some Ranger buddies who've been a part of it. I've had some SF buddies who just signed up for it.
Cool.
You know what I mean? And it's cool to see my community of friends in this really small, like friends, like guys that are my boys, being tied into your circle. And I'm like, holy shit, that's crazy, because there's veterans all over the place and first responders all over the place, but then to find that my circle actually crossovers with your circle, that's cool. It just makes even more sense to kind of continue to work with you, right? You know what I mean?
Well, I hope they all said good things.
Yeah, everyone says good things. They're excited. Guys like Dino, he's excited. He was excited about it. He posted recently about it. That's a good buddy of mine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then an SF dude who just signed up. He wants to get into one of your next ones if he can. I want to get you guys to come out to Salt Lake. I have a place here that we can use. He does custom bikes himself as well. I think you and him partnered up to try and do your next build when you can in Salt Lake. We have a location. He'd be willing to be a part of the whole thing. All he wants is to put his name on it, because he does really good custom work here in Salt Lake, and he's just interested in just doing more, right? He loves veterans and first responders. He's so pro at it that we have a small bike. I gave him a bike that I got for $2,000. And he's customizing on his free time, right? It's whenever he gets time, he gets some stuff done and he sends me pictures. And once that's done, we'll raffle that off for my nonprofit Hero Sports. But it's just the same. I'm like, man, if he's doing this, I think I can get you in with him and we can get another build done here.
Sure. Well, and that's how, we network with different shops all over the country. So we've done one in Cleveland, one in California, one in Phoenix, starting.
So we should do it. We should talk about how to do that and how you want to get that conversation started. Definitely. And I think it'd be great, because then I could at least show up and help out when I have the time and stuff.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And our bike builds take, we usually meet once a week for six months. Yeah. We usually do a 6-month time frame, and that's usually just about perfect, meeting once a week. And then that also gives us time to, order parts, and because we try and do custom everything. We don't,
Oh yeah, the 2 bikes that I have. Yeah. Everything's custom.
There's lots of fabricating in those.
Yeah.
There was lots of flying back and forth for you named it the gold one, Gold Rush.
Gold Rush. We named the Gold Rush. Yeah.
Gold Rush. Lots of flying back and forth to Cleveland for that one.
That thing is low to the ground.
It is. Mm-hmm.
I like it though. It's such a cool ride.
Yeah. We don't stop there. So once our bike build is finished, then we enter it into bike competitions, and the guys are always welcome to come. Usually, some of them will come fly out to go to one, but usually it's just local ones that they do. Yeah. And then I think every bike we've built has won something, except the Hayabusa. We built a land speed bike. We showed it at one show. It didn't win anything at that show, but it's going to be hitting the Texas Mile here in October. And I think we got 200. We got 200 and something, I think, on our first run.
Crazy.
On that bike. So
that's crazy. And explain what that Texas Mile is. What is that exactly?
Texas Mile is just it's like they all these performance cars and motorcycles get on the track and they see how fast they can go in 1 mile on an airport strip.
Damn.
So it's really cool. There's lots of fantastic cars there. Yeah. So we do that we're going to be doing that this October. We have a Road King that we built with a sidecar. So that's going to be staying with us, and we're going to use it as a therapy bike and take it on, like bike parade. Yeah. We'll use it for funerals, or, to take a veteran that can't ride, and he can get some wind therapy in the sidecar. So we've got that. But the other ones we usually sell to try and put money back into the program. That's largely how we fund it. But
let me ask you this: how many bikes have you built so far?
With Motorcycle Missions?
Yeah, with Motorcycle Missions.
We will be finishing our 12th here in October.
And the 12th is being built where currently? Phoenix,
Arizona.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I'd love to show up one of the days that you guys are filming. My parents live out there.
Oh, really? Well, we'll be there the 21st to the 27th of October. And then we'll be finishing the bike with that crew. It'll be done after that. And then we actually started it to reveal at Arizona Bike Week in April.
Yeah.
And the virus hit, and the Harley Davidson dealership we were building at furloughed all their staff, which included my mentors that were building there. So that were teaching the guys. So we just started to get back into trying to finish it. And they've rescheduled Bike Week again to October 11th weekend. But we're not even going to attend that. We're going to wait till next April and do it right, because we're going to sell raffle tickets for this site.
Yep. And like I said, if I can get some time, I'll head over there during that week.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be real cool. And where's the next bike build going to be?
It's going to be in near Denver, Colorado. It's Roy's Toys Customs. It's a father-daughter
nice
team, and we are always in the same places competing against one another on the red carpet with our bikes.
Yeah.
And Roy's got a lot of experience. He likes a lot of chopper type stuff.
Yep.
And they do a lot of Harleys. So they're taking on this next one that we're doing.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. That one's sponsored by State Farm Insurance, but they've actually, because of the virus, they've actually just now canceled their entire year of events. So
no way.
I don't know what's going to be happening. I probably should have said that, but
no, you're fine. Let's talk about potentially. I'll hit up USO, and I would love to see if we can get USO to sponsor you to do a bike with me, because I work with them directly.
That'd be awesome.
So we'll talk offline on that. I'll give them a call, and I'll send them your little mission statement and video, and tell them I would love to make a USO bike.
Cool.
That I'll ride, and I'll go meet with some veterans, and probably fly all the way to Afghanistan and Iraq and go meet them with it and everything.
What? That'd be cool.
That's what I've been wanting to do. I want them to fly me out there so I can hang out with the troops, but it has to make sense for my schedule and theirs, and for their budget. And I always give some really crazy ideas, and I think some of them are a little too crazy for them. But I'm gonna throw it out there, see what happens.
Do it.
Yeah. So how do you guys raise money for funding? And I want people to know this, so then if people want to support, they can. I know we sell bikes, right? So Veteran bought 2 bikes from you. I still, owe you some. But Veteran has bought 2 bikes from you, just one, because I want to support you, and 2, I think we want to kind of have this long, sustaining relationship with you and what you guys do, and as well as with Veteran, because I think it kind of goes hand in hand in what we're trying to do is help veterans.
Yeah.
And then how else do you guys raise money?
Well, I mean, we just do a lot of local events, because Motorcycle Missions is just pretty much solely run by me. I'm at the point where I'm starting to need help, and I actually need somebody who's doing fundraising, and that's all they're doing.
Yeah. Grant writing and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to figure that out. So if there's any grant writers out there, or anybody that can help me figure out how to fundraise, because I'm learning all this. I learned by the seat of my pants.
Yeah, I'm the same.
And so, when you were saying all the struggles, I'm like, hello, I relate, because I'm, 5 years into this, and I'm still in that position where I'm still figuring shit out. I'm still trying to learn how to do things. And, we've been, I just met with somebody, one of the presidents of the Thin Blue Line.
Yep.
One of the chapters here, I just had a meeting with them yesterday, and we were talking about, fundraising ideas, and there's a lot of like, rifle sales or
there's all kinds of stuff,
poster runs, or,
which all takes work and effort, and it's stressful. And look, I have 2 nonprofits, and we just like are always like, ugh, it's the hardest thing to try and raise money. But I'll tell you this, any listener listening right now, anything you can do, any kind of help you want to provide, just message Motorcycle Missions. Krystal is answers everything. But things like grant writing are important, right? Grant writing is huge. If you have any kind of skill sets on grant writing, if you know big sponsors, you have contacts to big sponsors that might be interested in this. If you guys can't connect somehow how motorcycles and building motorcycles gives relief to law enforcement officers first responders and veterans, trust me, this is something that once you finally do it firsthand, you'll understand. It's giving purpose, it's giving meaning. It's a challenge, and there's like that gratification at the end of watching it being built and being done. There's something about that is so important. If you guys don't know, first responders, their suicide rate is starting to match veterans. All right, and not even just veterans. Just say this. Civilians as well. The studies just came out in 2019. Civilians are just up there with everyone. We're all about the 17 a day kind of numbers right now for civilians, first responders. It's crazy.
We're going to see an increase.
Oh, of course. I've had, just during COVID, I've had several of my own really close buddies commit suicide, and something that is.
Yeah, I lost one just the other day, like right after you lost your friend. And I spoke to you, and I think the day after my friend committed suicide. One of my Motorcycle Missions veterans, actually.
No way.
Yeah, he went through our welding program. We do welding program as well, but that was a couple years ago. So yeah, he was suffering with a brain tumor. So I think he just decided that brain, but. I mean, it's a real thing, and it's going to get worse. And if like I'm having a whole bunch of I keep the alumni. I have an alumni page, so I keep all the guys who've been through builds connected, so that we can still stay in touch. And when we go to different events, like if Arizona Bike Week, we'd have the Arizona guys, and like some of the Texas guys will come. Yeah. Or some of the girls from our all-female bike build that we did in California can come to Arizona. It's like a 6-hour drive for them, So we try and keep everyone connected as much as we can. I have the boys coming over this weekend to work on some mini bikes that I got for us.
Nice.
And we're going to just tootle around in my garage and grill some hamburgers, and so it doesn't just stop with the bikes. We keep connected. We invite them to mentor other veterans on future builds. And then our motocross program, we have veterans that are riders that are coaching our guys as well.
It's super important what you've created as a community, and that's what a lot of us are missing, right? The camaraderie and community of the military that is taken away from us as we leave, and it's hard to kind of find that again. First responders and law and military have a very similar community, and being able to give them a community again that's in a world that they enjoy is the value, right? We do that with Hero Sports and sports, right? If you like sports, we have a community for us, right? If you like motorcycles, you get a community that you've created for them, and it's super important. And I think what you're doing needs to be done, and I don't think there's very many people doing it as good as you right now. You really are killing it. I see a lot of tags and posts, and people really telling you what you do, Krystal, is huge for the community, and that's coming from both communities that I've been a part of.
Awesome.
So I appreciate you for sure.
Thank you so much. You as well. If anyone wants to, so if you go to our build page, I've set up the website so you can look at each build. So you can look at build 1, build 2, build 3, and you can see photos of the builders and their portraits, the sponsors that sponsored us on that build, and kind of a description. But in some of them, we have an actual documentary that my guys have put together. So you can actually watch videos of the veterans and the first responders talking about their journey and what Motorcycle Missions means to them, and how it's made an impact. I know Build 4, which is our sidecar Rambler that we have, the kind of like desert looking one, that one we have a good documentary on, and we have one for Build 9, which is our all-female bike build. and then one for build 6 and 7, which is one of the Indians that you have.
Yeah, let's send me one of them that you want. I'll post it later today because I've been wanting to tell more of your story anyways. And so if you don't mind, just send me one that you would like for me to post, the full one, and I'll post it on my Instagram today.
Sure.
Or tomorrow or next week, whenever. Cool. All right, we're gonna cut it out here, but tell me where can they find you? How can they get a hold of you? Any kind of things you want to tell them, you're more than welcome. Just have your time.
So you can find us motorcycle-missions.org, or if you just type in the search Motorcycle Missions, it'll come up. And we have a big donate button right on our main page. If that's what you want to do, if you can support us by buying, t-shirts or hats or stickers or anything like that, that just goes to helping us pay for all of our overhead and mostly just to pay for the merchandise itself. But we have all that, and we are always looking for sponsors or partners or people who can lend us their skills. If they're a motorcycle builder, shop owner somewhere, or there's a grant writer out there, or there's somebody who can offer me. Like I'm really in need of a social media person because I suck at it and I absolutely hate it, and it's a full-time job. And so whenever you see a post from me, like it's taken me probably an hour just to figure that out. And it drives me crazy, and I it's a chore. So if there's any social media people that want to donate their time, I mean, I've got like all sorts of needs. I'm pretty much doing all of it myself. So anybody who can think of what they can contribute, I'll probably need it. So
no, and I'm sure after people listen to this and stuff, people will reach out, and I hope you get all the help you need, because what you're doing is saving lives, and that's a big part of what I'm trying to do is find answers, dude. Find answers to save lives, and this is one. And one that's near and dear to my heart. So seriously, thank you for joining me today. I know it's taken me forever to finally get it to happen. Thanks for keeping me honest. Yeah, thanks for keeping me honest and bugging me, and I appreciate it.
Awesome.
All right, we'll take care.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
I took the blows and